Hi guys, I'm Gaurav, and I'm going to talk about CPEC and whom CPEC is going to benefit more, that is China or Pakistan. So many of the scholars say that CPEC will make a new Pakistan, and there will be like economic advancements, many industries set up, and this that there are lot of reports, and many reports are against it, that CPEC is destroying the domestic industry also, leave about industrialization in Pakistan. So today we are gonna discuss a lot on this, and I would like to share one report which got published in Dawn today. Okay, let's see. This is a report published in Dawn that one-way street CP is more about expanding China's growth than benefit for Pakistan. So I have highlighted some of the points which I think it's very necessary to understand this report. Okay. See, the China-Pakistan Friendship Highway runs over 1300 kilometers from the far western Chinese city of Kashgar to the world's highest mountain pass and across the border. For China, the two-lane thoroughfare symbolizes a blossoming partnership, nourished with tens of billions of dollars, and investment. But for many Pakistani businessmen living and working on the Chinese side of the border, the road is one-way street. you know Many of the Indian scholars and World Bank also said that if CPEC is not benefiting Pakistan, then it will be a very much disaster for Pakistan. As you know, these are the loans which you have to pay back. It's not like they are grants and you are given grants like USA gave you from 2001 till now. You have been given more than 13 to 15 billion dollars of grants, but these are not grants, bro. This is the loans, and the interest rate on loans is, as per the report, says approximately more than 15%. And there are some reports who show that the projects are guaranteed returns by the Pakistani government. So you don't have any option. You can't say that the project is not profitable to Pakistan, so we won't pay back. So you don't have any other option. You have to pay back. Okay. Going next, there is no benefit for Pakistan. It's all about expanding China's growth, right? And this is a Pakistani newspaper. It's not any Indian or Western newspaper. So this is a Pakistani newspaper, and we can trust this. At least don't have a very good reputation. The remote town of around 9,000 is at the geographic heart of Beijing's plan to build a major trade artery, the China-Pakistan economic corridor, right, connecting Kashgar to the Arabian Sea of Gwadar, like the Gwadar port you are going. The project is a crown jewel of China's One Belt One Road, that is the OBOR initiative. OBOR initiative is a huge initiative. We all know, but and we all accept that it will be an infrastructure boom for Asia and Africa, because in Asia a lot of money is needed, which of course Japan, China, and India have. So these are only the countries which can make this as an Asian century, and can develop Asia and Africa both. Okay, the the project is a crown jewel of China's One Belt One Road initiative, a massive global infrastructure program to revive the ancient Silk Road and connect Chinese companies to the new markets around the world. See, there are also reports that China have saturation. They are making ghost cities where no one lives. So there are many Chinese companies who have uh, you know no new deals coming in. So to retain the employment and to invest the money, they have to invest it somewhere, right? So this is the OBOR is the perfect place to invest for banks also, for Chinese businesses, for Chinese labor, all. So they are investing a lot in this one, and the amount they are investing is gonna be so huge. It's basically, according to some report, up to $5 trillion in the long term. $5 trillion. Pakistani economy is nearly $280 billion, I think, and $5 trillion. It's more than 20 to 30 times. So the project is so huge, and the project is a crown jewel of China's One Belt One. Yeah, we get it. In 2013, Beijing and Islamabad signed agreements worth 46 billion to build transport and energy infrastructure along the corridor. And China has upgraded the treacherous mountain road, better known as the Karakoram Highway. Yes. While both countries say that the project is mutually beneficial, data shows a different story. Yeah, politicians will never tell you the truth. Only an economist or a statistician can show you the real story. So here is the statistics and the data which present. See, Pakistan export to China fell by almost 8% in the second half of 2016. 8%, you know, in Asia, Pakistan is the biggest market, and 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 if your export in the biggest market is decreasing, and the so-called iron brother doesn't want to import your goods, then this is a very much problematic situation. And on the other hand, when imports jumped by almost 29%, you are importing 29% more than the last year. So you can guess how much will be the fiscal deficit and how much problematic this situation will be in future. In May, Pakistan accused China of flooding its market with cut rate steel and threatened to respond with high tariff. See, you are threatening your Chinese iron brother. I know you can't do anything, but you are trying to threaten. But we also know there is nothing gonna happen, and you can't even apply high tariffs like India, because Chinese will arm twist you anyway. There are a lot. There are all of these hopes and dreams about Pakistan export. Only hopes, only, bro. Said Jonathan Hillman, a fellow at the Center for Strategic and International Strategy in Washington. But if you are connecting with China, what you are going to be exporting? Yeah, that's my point also. What you are gonna export? You don't have any IT market at like India, IT technology like India. You don't have manufacturing like China. You are not any technology maker. You are far behind Bangladesh, even Vietnam in textile production. You are not producing engineering goods. You don't produce a steel. Even China have overcapacity in steel. So, so what is the thing you are going to export? I was also curious. Exporting mangoes and fruits will not give you so much revenue, and this must be understood to the Pakistani officer. Now coming to next paragraph. Pakistani businessmen in Xinjiang see few benefits from the CPEC, complaining of intrusive security and capricious custom management. India also have this problem with the Chinese. India wanted Chinese to open their market to Indian pharma and Indian IT, but Chinese have different market strategy. They won't allow you to capture their market. They will always uh, promote their domestic industry. You can see even the big corporations like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Twitter, etc. are not allowed in China. They have rivals in China. That is the domestic rivals. Even Uber, that is the biggest cab aggregator of the world, went to China. But there is Didi in China, which bought Uber business of China. So my point is, you can't export anything to China. You know, if you bring anything from China, no problem. Yeah, but if he said the tariffs on imported Pakistani goods are not declared. Today it's 5%, tomorrow maybe 20. Sometimes they say this is not allowed. Yeah, that's the problem. They they will never tell you how much tariff they are gonna apply on your goods. If their domestic market is not saturated, they will start a new company, a state-owned company also, to make that good. And uh, that's how it works. And tomorrow it can be 20% also tariff. Yeah, they are right. 3 years ago, Saab was charged between 8 and 15 yuan per kilo to bring lapis lazuli, a blue stone. The duty has since soared to 50 yuan per kilo. So if they are your iron brothers, why the duty has soared so much? See, Alexandro Ripan, expert on Chinese infrastructure projects at Ludwig Maximilian University Munich, said the highway is not very relevant to overall trade because the sea route is just cheaper and faster. All over the world, we know that the railways and roadways are the you know costliest mode of transport, and the sea routes are approximately one third or one fourth of the uh, that the cost of the transportation through railway or roadways. So the route that is the CPS is so much promoted, it's gonna never be used for so much transport. Just for example, I will explain it to you. See, China imports most of its petroleum products through the Indian Ocean. Okay, so they have a point in mind that if India shows aggressiveness, and if they don't allow their ships to pass, then China will have an what energy crisis. So to to reduce the damage or to stop the energy crisis, they have an alternate route called CPEC. Through CPEC they will import, but until India doesn't do so, there will be no relevant problem to import through CPEC. So it will never be used that much. Only China will export if to Pakistan. That's it. And one more thing I would like to explain, that China is so much pressurizing India to join OBOR and CPEC. Why? Because CPEC will never be, what we say, never be profitable, or even the investment cost will also not be recovered if only Pakistan imports, or only European market imports, because the growth pool have shifted to India. By many reports, World Bank and IMF is also saying it. So when the growth pool is shifted to India, and India is going to be the growth center in the next decades to come, then China will be losing a huge market. That is the biggest market, the biggest future market of the world. That is India. India will have the highest number of middle class population after China in some years. So that's why China wants to join India also, CPEC and OBOR, and India have said no. The project is better understood as a tool for China to promote a geopolitical interest. Yeah, that's right, geopolitical interest only, and help structuring. See, I told you before only. Help struggling state-owned companies export excess production. Yeah. Just for example, I would like to give you an example. See, uh, you know, India is the third largest steel producer in the world with 100 metric tons per annum, and soon it will be second largest producer. After replacing Japan. Then also it will produce approximately 103 to 105 metric tons per annum. But how much China produces steel? It produces more than 50% of the world steel. That is nearly 800 million metric tons. India will be second even if it produces 105 million metric tons. But you can see the gap, 105 and 800 million metric tons. So China have to use the excess production, and that will be used in OBUR, and that is also used in CPEC also. You might have read some news that China is not allowing Pakistani steel to be used in CPEC. It imports all the steel and equipments, everything from China itself. Okay, coming to next. Over the last year, Beijing has flooded Xinjiang, which has a large Muslim population, tens of thousands of security personnel, and imposed draconian rules to eliminate extremism. See, what what Pakistan says to India, that in India Muslims are not happy, but Muslims are uh, very much happy in India. They can't be happier anywhere else in the world. I can tell you, and I can guarantee you that. And one basic fact, that India have more Muslim population than Pakistan. Yeah, and in some years it will have the largest Muslim population. Even it will surpass Indonesia. So, what your Aaron brother is doing in China, in the same year. See, businessmen complain they are not allowed to worship at local mosques. See, while shops can be closed for up to a year for importing merchandise with Arabic script. See, you you say that Arabs in everything, and they hate Arabs. See, they 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 aren't even allowing to import merchandise with Arabic as script. What can I say else? Police officers interrupted an interview in Taskurgan to demand a shopkeeper hand over his smartphone and computer for inspection. Wow. An event he said occurred several times a week. See, the exercises are held up to 5 times a day. Wow, 5 times a day exercises are held up. What can you expect the business sentiment there, and what can you export to China if the situation is like that? Stores are closed for several days if they do not participate. Great. Back in Kashgar, Muhammad hopes that CPEC will make life better, but he believes the oppressive security will remain an obstacle. Okay, so what is the conclusion? He plans to give it another 3 years, but he cannot wait forever. Many people have already gone back. See, many people have had hopes that CPEC will be a game changer, and the politicians kept you in dark. And the worst thing about CPEC is that the interest rates on which the loan is taken, how much guarantee is given to Chinese companies. It's not revealed in media. It's all hidden. It's all kept in the dark. So if the project is itself kept in the dark from the Pakistani and the world citizen, then how can you expect? And you must ask a simple question: why they are kept in dark? There must be something that the people don't want you to know, right? Okay, then give it time, and I leave it to you to understand what else. Thank you.